Hello students, welcome to online class. Today we are going to study the last part of electrochemistry, that is Debye-Hückel theory, and next we are going to study transport number or Hittorf's number and derivation for the transport number and Hittorf's number. Okay, now let us see the Debye-Hückel theory. Okay, so in 1920 Debye and Hückel given this theory. And later words in 1926 Onsager put forward the modern theory of strong electrolyte. So this Debye-Hückel theory is for the strong electrolyte which accounts for the electrostatic force of attraction between the ions, means positive ion and negative ion. Okay, it tells about the electrostatic force of attraction between the ions, and it will give some ideas regarding the theory. So first we will see, so we know that strong electrolyte will dissociate completely. So they told that Debye and Hückel told that a strong electrolyte will ionize completely at all dilution, means for any concentration, for any dilution. So this strong electrolyte will ionize completely, right? So second, what they said, since oppositely charged ions attract each other, it suggests that anions and cations are not uniformly distributed in the solution of an electrolyte, but the cations are tends to be found in the vicinity of an ion and vice versa. How it will be in the vicinity of each other, I will tell later. First, what this says, so here oppositely charged ions, they will attract each other, we know this. Okay, so they suggest that these cations and anions are not uniformly distributed in the solution, but what happens, so this is a cations, they will tends to be in the vicinity of anion, or anions tends to be in the vicinity of cations. Okay, next what this is, decrease in equivalent conductance with the increase in concentration is due to the mobility of ions due to the greater interionic effect and vice versa. So last time we have seen this. Okay, so that is the effect of dilution on the equivalent conductance. Okay, so here for this strong electrolyte, what we say, here equivalent conductance decreases with increase in concentration. Here this side concentration is increasing, but the equivalent conductance is decreasing. Here equivalent conductance it is increasing, but here if you see this, here concentration is increasing but equivalent conductance is decreasing. Last time we have seen here the effect of dilution, right? So this effect they told here, what they said, decrease in equivalent conductance with increase in concentration is due to fall in the mobilities of the ions or due to the greater ionic effect. Okay, so last time we have seen. Now today we are going to study the asymmetric effect or relaxation effect. Okay, according to Debye-Hückel theory, what they said, each ion in the solution of an electrolyte is surrounded by the atmosphere of oppositely charged ions. Okay, so here you can assume that here negative ion, means here one ion is in the solution of an electrolyte is surrounded by the atmosphere of oppositely charged particle. Here you can imagine negative ion is surrounded by the atmosphere of positively charged ions. Okay, so here there is no electric field. Okay, so as long as no electric field is applied, the ionic atmosphere remains symmetrical around the central ion. So this negative ion will be the central ion. So here there is no electric field. So as long as no electric field is applied, this ionic atmosphere around this central ion remains symmetrical. Okay, around this central ion. Okay, the force of attraction exerted by the atmosphere on the central ion, the force of attraction exerted by the atmosphere on the central ion is uniform in all the direction. Here you can see that here there will be a force of attraction. Okay, so the force of attraction exerted by the ions around this central ion will be uniform. Okay, in all the direction. But what happens when we apply the electric field? Let us see here. When an electric field is applied, the negative ions moves towards the anode. So here positive charge means it is what? Anode. And this is what? Cathode. Okay. Negative ion, here when electric field is applied, what happens? The negative ions moves towards the anode and positive ions moves towards the cathode. Positive ions means here positive ionic atmosphere is there and only one negative ion is there. So here negative ion moves towards the anode and positive ionic atmosphere moves towards the cathode, right? So as a result of this, what happens? The symmetry about the ionic atmosphere, symmetry of the ionic atmosphere about the central ion will be destroyed, because what happens here? Negative ion, this negative ion leaves the large number of positive ionic atmosphere, right? So what happens? This negative ions will move behind this positive ionic atmosphere. This negative ion leaves the large number of positive ionic atmosphere, right? So here negative ion will be in front and positive ionic atmosphere will be behind of that. Then what happens? Negative ion will be in front. Hence the ionic atmosphere around this central negative ion will be destroyed, because this negative ion moves towards the anode after the application of electric field. Therefore the ionic atmosphere, positive ionic atmosphere around this central ion will be destroyed, right? In case of distorted ionic atmosphere, what happens? The central moving ion will experiences the backward pull, right? So here there will be attraction between the negative ion and positive ion, right? When we apply the electric field, the negative ion moves towards the anode, but there are positive ions, ionic atmosphere is also there. Here how this negative ion moves towards the anode, then what happens? These positive ions experiences the backward pull. This negative ion experiences the backward pull by this positive ionic atmosphere. So what happens? This negative ion will retard its motion. So this effect is known as asymmetric effect. Okay. So this retardation of motion, or we can say negative ion will loses its motion. So this effect is called as what? Asymmetric effect. Okay. So let us see what happens. So there will be uniform ionic atmosphere in all the direction before the application of electric field. But what happens when we apply the electric field? Negative ion will move towards the anode and positive ion moves towards the cathode, right? So as a result of that, what happens? The symmetry of the ionic atmosphere about the central ion will destroyed. Okay, the symmetry of the atmosphere about the central ion destroyed, because negative ion leaves a large number of positive ions behind it. Then there are in front negative ions. So in front side there will be negative ions. Hence what happens? This ionic atmosphere will destroyed, because this negative ion moves towards the anode. Okay. So this negative ion will be in front side, but this positive ionic atmosphere, they will attract it. So this negative ion experiences the backward pull by this positive ionic atmosphere. Due to this, what happens, this negative ion will loses its motion, and this effect is called as a symmetric effect, right? So then what happens, when an electric field is applied, the central ion will move towards the oppositely charged electrodes. As it is moving out of the ionic atmosphere, it has to rebuild a new ionic atmosphere of opposite charge around it. See, this ion is moving away from this ionic, this positive ionic atmosphere, right? So this, suppose here negative ion comes here, then it again has to rebuild its new ionic atmosphere of oppositely charged particle. But it will not take place suddenly. It has to rebuild an ionic atmosphere of opposite charge around it, and what happens, old ionic atmosphere will dies out. However, there will be neither destruction of new ionic atmosphere nor formation of new ionic atmosphere. It takes some time. It will not take place instantaneously. Each of them takes some time, and that time, that is called as relaxation time. So there will be relaxation, and what happens, suddenly all the things will not happen, so it will take some time, then that time is called as relaxation time, right? So what happens here, when an electric field is applied, the central ion moves towards the oppositely charged, or what we can say here, negative ion will move towards the oppositely charged electrode. As it is moving out of the ionic atmosphere, it has to rebuild a new ionic atmosphere of opposite charge around it. Okay, then old ionic atmosphere will dies out. However, neither destruction of old ionic atmosphere and nor formation of new ionic atmosphere takes place instantaneously. So this process will not takes place suddenly. So each of them will have to take some time for the formation of new ionic atmosphere and to die the old ionic atmosphere. Okay, and that time is called as relaxation time, right? So let us see the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. So for your syllabus, there will be no derivation of this Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Simply you have to remember this equation. This equation is very important. They may ask this equation sometime for 2 marks. Okay, and this Debye-Huckel theory is also important. They may ask give an account of the Debye-Huckel theory for 5 marks also. Okay, so this is the equation. So Debye-Huckel derived the mathematical expression for the variation of equivalent conductance with the concentration. This equation was further improved by Onsager, and now this equation is called as Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Okay, it is equal to lambda c equal to lambda c. Okay, what it means? Equivalent conductance at concentration C. Okay, equivalent conductance at concentration C, that is equal to equivalent conductance at infinite dilution minus 82.4 divided by dt raised to 1 by 2 into eta. This symbol is called as eta, not n. Okay, plus 8.20 into 10 raised to 5 divided by d2 raised to 3 by 2 into lambda infinity, this whole multiplied with square root of c, where c is the concentration. Okay, here we can see the terms. Here lambda c means what? Equivalent conductance at concentration C, right? Then lambda infinity will be equivalent conductance at infinite dilution. Then here d is what? Dielectric constant of the medium, and eta is what? Viscosity of the medium. Okay, then T is the temperature of the solution in degrees absolute. Okay, so here T is not in Kelvin, here it is in degrees. Okay, and C is the concentration of solution in moles per liter. Okay, so here if you see this equation, this all term is what? Constant. So here we can replace this by A, and here also apart from this all is constant, and we can denote this by B. So now replace this by A and B. What you will get? Lambda C equal to lambda infinity minus into the bracket A plus this is B into lambda infinity into square root of C. Okay, this equation is very important, and this is called as Debye-Hückel-Onsager equation. Here D and eta are constant for a particular solvent at a particular temperature, and this is the reduced form of this equation, where A and B are the constant for the particular solvent at particular temperature. Okay, so this equation you have to remember. Okay, so this Debye-Hückel theory is very important for the point of examination. Next we will see the transport number or Hittorf's number. Okay, transport number or Hittorf's number. We can call this as transport number also or Hittorf's number also. So first let us see what is mean by transport number or Hittorf's number. Okay, transport number or Hittorf's number. Okay, so during electrolysis what happens? The current is carried out by the cations and anions. We know that during electrolysis what happens? Current will be carried out by cations and anions. Okay, so one cation, suppose one cation or one anion will not carries all the current, right? So one cation or one anion will carry some fraction of total current. Okay, so that is the transport number. Means what? The fraction of total current carried out by the cations or the anions is termed as transport number or Hittorf's number. Okay, what is transport number? The fraction of cations or the fraction of total current carried out by the cations and or anions is termed as transport number. Okay, so how it is given? Let us see. If UC and UA are the speed of the cations and speed of the anions. It's speed of cations and this is what? Speed of anion. Respectively, then transport number of cations is given by transport number of cation is given by speed of the cation divided by total speed of the cations plus anions. Okay, so here transport number of cation is what? Speed of the cation divided by total speed of the cations plus anions. Okay, this is the transport number of cations. So this will be denoted by T plus. So T plus means what? Transport number of cations. Cations are represented by plus sign, right? So this is given by the transport number of cations. Okay, similarly you can denote the transport number of anions also. So anions are denoted by negative sign and transport number of anions is given by T negative sign. Okay, so see here negative is there, therefore the formula will be like this. Speed of the anion in the numerator and divided by the total speed of the cation plus anions. Okay, total speed of the cation. This will be the transport number of anions. Okay, so this is equation 1 and this will be the equation number 2. So by adding 1 and 2 you will get, see what you will get. So T plus plus T minus, that is what, UC plus UC plus UA total speed plus UA divided by UA plus UC, right? So what you will get, take LCM, UC plus UA, then here it will add and you will get UC plus UA. Okay, both are similar till a term that will cancel out, therefore transport number of cations and transport number of anions, means sum of the transport number of cation and anion will be 1, that is unity. So we can tell this as the sum of the transport number of cations and anions of an electrolyte is always unity, right? Now see here, so there is one term that is R, that is called as ratio of speed of cations to the anions, and that is given by R equal to UC upon UA. Okay, and suppose in the equation 1 and equation 2, if you divide the these equation number 1 and 2 by UA, then what you will get, let us see. See equation 1, if you divide this equation, that is transport number of cations by UA, this also UC is divided by UA plus UA is divided by UA. So UA will get cancelled, and this UC divided by UA means what I said, that is a ratio, that is denoted by R, and UC by UA means R. So this is also UC by UA, so you will get R plus 1. Okay, so the transport number of cation in terms of R will be denoted by R divided by R plus 1. Similarly, if you take the equation number 2, that is what it is there, T minus means transport number of anion, that is equal to speed of the anion divided by total speed of the anion and cation. So if you divide that equation by UA, then what you will get, UA divided by UA, this whole divided by UA and UA. You have to divide in both numerator and denominator also. So you will get like this. So here UA get cancelled, and here also will get cancelled. So 1 divided by 1 plus R, you will get transport number in terms of R. Transport number of anion will be equal to 1 divided by 1 plus R, right? So this is all about the transport number and what we can say, Hittov's number, that is what the fraction of total current carried out by the cations and anions, that is called as transport number. Okay, so let us see the principle or rule of the Hittov's method. Okay, what it states, the loss of concentration around any electrolyte is proportional to the speed of the ion moving from it. Okay, so there will be loss of concentration during the electrolysis. There will be always loss of concentration around the electrodes, and that will be proportional to the speed of the ion moving from it. Okay, so let us see what is mean by ionic mobility. Okay, so there is one term that is called as ionic mobility. Mobility is what, that is speed of the ion, speed of the cation, or it may be the speed of the anion, that is called as ionic mobility. So ionic mobility is what the ionic conductance, and that conduct the solution containing 1 gram of ion. If the solution has 1 gram of ion, then at infinite dilution, when the two sufficient electrodes are placed at 1 centimeter. Suppose we have the solution. Suppose this is a electrolytic cell, and these are the two electrodes. Then if the distance between these two electrodes is 1 centimeter, and the solution if contains 1 gram of ions, then the conduction due to this conductivity of the electricity due to this 1 gram of ion, for which the electrodes are placed at 1 centimeter apart, that is called as ionic mobility. Okay, ionic mobility or ionic conductance is the conductivity of the solution containing 1 gram of ion at infinite dilution when two sufficient electrodes are placed at 1 centimeter apart, right? So let us see what is meant by absolute ionic mobility. This is what ionic mobility. So there is another term that is called as absolute ionic mobility. So that is also mobility, but there is some difference. That is what the mobility with which the ion moves under the unit potential gradient. Okay, that is called as absolute ionic mobility. If the mobility of the ions with which the ions moves under the unit potential gradient, that is called as what? Absolute ionic mobility. And ionic mobility is denoted by lambda plus or lambda minus. Okay, and this ionic mobility is directly proportional to what? Speed of the ions. Speed of the ions. Okay, so unit for this is what? Centimeter per second. Okay, unit will be centimeter per second for the absolute ionic mobility. Then for ionic mobility, unit will be ohm per ohm centimeter square. Okay, so you have to remember absolute ionic mobility. If you want in terms of formula, you can write this. Absolute ionic mobility will be absolute ionic mobility, that is the ionic mobility divided by Faraday's constant. What? Ionic mobility. So I think you know the Faraday's constant, how much it will be. Yes, so that is ionic mobility divided by 96,500, that will be the Faraday's constant.